because you'd be getting in at the ground floor of an aggressive competitor in the securities industry. And although we are Western Canadian focused now, we're focused on global businesses, oil and gas, agriculture. So it's not a leap of faith to know that we will be growing this business globally. And it just happens to have the same CEO in charge. And so here's a person who has a view of the globe, I believe, as he thinks of the world as one, you know? We're not defined by borders or religion or culture or language. We're not limited by that. Rather, the world is one in its profit potential. And so, you know, that plus a genuine interest in new ideas and new thoughts means that we're going to be moving globally and we're going to be experiencing that kind of change.
As a CFO, you're a little bit a different critter in this room here.
Yes, I feel that.
But I want to leverage. I mean, we're not going to dissect you, but I do want to ask you a question about it. So, where you sit from a CFO's perspective, how do you view the issues around talent and workforce? You know, I mean, not from a HR perspective, but from the balance sheet point of view, from thinking as a CFO. How are some of these talent workforce change issues impact you, and how do you think about them when you sit back? Well,
like David's industry, our industry is very much a people business. People are our assets. And so, you know, our assets come and go on the elevators every day, basically. So, you know, in terms of the global perspective and the changing workforce in the global perspective, we found that keeping in touch with all our employees across the globe was very important. And it sounds simple, but I think you have to make a conscious effort to do that so that you can keep in touch with the issues that are cropping up in the local markets and the issues that employees are dealing with in their space. So we were consciously inclusive of all our employees. I'm speaking back from Tri-Stone days that weren't present in Calgary. Our CEO made a conscious decision to ensure that these people were included in decisions, included in meetings, you know, via video conferencing and you know, web-based meeting facilities so that we could see people face to face. That was very important because they were as much as a part of the team as anybody sitting in Calgary. And, you know, I know we've been talking about technology, which is very important, but he also encouraged the staff to travel to the various offices to see each other face to face and to meet clients together because he viewed that as strengthening the team, keeping in touch with employees' issues, and also strengthening client relationships because clients could see that we brought global expertise to the table rather than just paying sort of lip service to that.
And are there any things, and then I'll take you up the CFO spot, but are there things or language or attitudes that HR folks have that sometimes drive you crazy as a CFO? They won't bite, I promise.
No, there's nothing, right?
No, I love my HR people. I do actually.
Shut off the camera.
I think the most interaction I had with HR was when I was working at the Investment Dealers Association, now HRAC, which is a Canadian organization, but spread across the country. And I found HR extremely helpful to me because that was my first managerial role, and they were a sounding board for me to figure out, you know, oh my God, like I'm spending my entire day just managing people. Help me out here. And so they, you know, they taught me important things about interviewing and how you can't ask people if they like to go for cocktails after work because that could be, you know, well, you know the reasons. I'm not. Anyways, so I had to change my interview style and all that kind of stuff, but it was all good. I got
you. Super. Okay, who's next?
I'll go.
So I realize I shouldn't be in HR now because we were just talking about the differences between Toronto and Calgary. And in Toronto, everybody goes for drinks after work, and that's how you network. Here, nobody does. At least I haven't found that experience yet. So,
Come hang with me.
but maybe I'll have friends after that today that want to go for drinks. Jackie McGilvery, head of global HR at Talisman Energy, and I'm new to the organization, 5 months in. My background's fairly diverse. I've got 4 industries: packaged goods, high tech, financial services, and now oil and gas. And I've started my career in sales and marketing and then moved into HR. And so change is sort of part of my DNA. I'm the type of individual that gets somewhat antsy when things get stable. And so stable is actually a good thing, I should say, more just routine for me. So I think part of my personal growth is looking for new opportunities and challenges. What would attract people to Talisman? I think it's all about challenging work and experiences. And we have plenty of that at Talisman. And what attracted me, and this is just fresh off the boat, but was the opportunity to build something. And we are an oil and gas independent, and we are very global, mid-size, 3,800 employees internationally, and very diverse portfolio. And our focus is all about safe, profitable growth. And we have a very aggressive agenda, an extremely high intelligence population. But the pace of change is at times faster than we can keep up, and at times faster than we can bring the individuals in and or develop them. So, you know, what personally attracted me and what I find from the people that we're talking to is it's all about the opportunity to build and be part of that experience. And what will be interesting for us is the flexibility and mobility of our workforce, because we are very proud of our international scope, but with that you do require international experience. And so how do you get creative on providing those international experiences? Part of it is about moving people, and part of it is also about giving people those experiences on the job without necessarily having to redeploy them into different locations. So something that we're really focused on right now and how we look at continuing to develop our talent.
If we sent a film crew out to sort of look at, a week in the life of Jackie, okay, what would they see about how you work today in 2011 that would be different than how you worked 5 years ago? What would the film crew pick up that was a shift in the last 5 years in your style of work, learning, transactions, whatever? That's
really interesting. I think it's a difficult question to answer because the industries are different. So if I can just take it back a little bit longer than 5 years. So being in high tech, I was with Nortel for 10 years, from about 95 to 2006. I get my years all mixed up. Very highly engaged, technology-centric workforce. So we were doing messaging and video conferencing before I ever saw that in the financial services sector. So very used to having on our desktop multiple applications, very used to a mobile workforce, very used to just really, I never had a boss in the same city as me. I never had a team in the same city as me. It was very global. Then you go to financial services, and my first experience was that everybody was in meetings face-to-face. And I found that very difficult because I was waiting for the applications to be put onto my desktop and soon told, no, you don't get access to that technology. No, you can't put those personal apps on your computer. And I was like, what do you mean I can't have Messenger? What do you mean that I can't work virtually? So that has shifted in the financial sector, obviously. And what's interesting coming into oil and gas is, yes, we do have those technologies, and we are going through a transformation in our IT space to bring more virtual communications. But one, our meetings are very much global. So we'll go into sessions and a lot is done over video conference, for one. Secondly, we're moving back very much to travel. So the face-to-face engagement, and not